Hi, this is Reverend Jamey Dragostea. I wanted to shoot this quick little video just so that you can get to know me a little bit better. And I know that it's a very important decision for you to decide who you would like to be part of your ceremony and to marry you. And so I would like to just introduce myself a little bit more so you can get to know me. I am born and raised right here in Utah. I come from the big town of Spring Glen, Utah. That's down in Carbon County. The biggest towns closest to us are Helper and Price, of course. You probably heard of Price, especially if you're from Utah yourself. I was born and raised in the dominant faith. I served an LDS mission in the 1980s, and I went to Geneva, Switzerland. I learned how to speak French, and I'm a former veteran. I was in the military actually before and after the mission. And when I got out of my mission, originally I went into the field of health. I was working as a health coach in the early 1990s, and eventually, though, I have 6 older brothers and 4 sisters, so I come from a typically very large family in Utah. I am number 10 out of 11. And quite frankly, back in those days, there wasn't really a whole lot of opportunities there. So I went into the profession of being an accountant. I got an MBA and became a business coach. And for many, many years, even though I wasn't working in the health-related field, I was actually coaching them. And so I had over about 2,400 doctors nationwide, where I was their business coach. And one of the things that I started to learn is that quite frankly, human nature and the things that people desire are the same. It doesn't matter who you are, what you want. You want to live a life that's filled with health and happiness, and you want to be surrounded by people that you love. And so as I started to go through this process of coaching others, I became a certified life success coach in 2004. And I started to really develop an insight on helping individuals find that inside happiness. And I realized over time that, quite frankly, it wasn't religion. For me, it wasn't religion. Now, although I am a non-denominational minister, I believe that almost every religion has truth to it, because there is a foundation of health and happiness and peace and joy, and I believe that most people are basically good. And so I started to transition, and I left a religion many years ago, and I had the opportunity to travel the world and see lots of different cultures, and had the opportunity to go to the Orient, and had the opportunity to go to India, and there I had the blessing of seeing a lot of different spirituality, or different sides of spirituality, and I kind of fell in love with a lot of it. In fact, I have quite a few different tattoos on my body, and one of them on my left arm is Ganesha from the Hindu religion, and on the right is a Greek god, and I have Taoism believes in, so Christianity beliefs, of course, what I was raised with. And so what I really kind of came to is my religion is love and light. And so my ministry is called the Dragostea Mission of Love and Light. Now, let me tell you very quickly about my last name. I was born Cunningham. And so my original name is Jamey Cunningham, but about 4 years ago, my father passed away, and he was, rooted very deeply into the LDS religion, as is some of my family. Half of us are, half of us aren't. But I realized at that time that I had done a lot of things in my life to try to please other people. And so I started to go through, quite frankly, a little bit of a spiritual transformation. And I left the career of being a business advisor. And in 2010, I started my own drug rehab and substance abuse treatment center. I went back and studied my PhD studies are in clinical health psychology, because I wanted to just find out basically what makes people do what they want to do, what makes people happy. And so as I was going through this process of learning psychology and learning actually the true source of happiness, which is spiritual in nature and spiritually rooted, I decided that I really wanted to go back to that original goal, and that is to help people become healthy. And so for quite a few years, even though I was dealing with helping people overcome addictions or overcome certain challenges, I learned the art of communication and what makes good relationships great and what makes bad relationships very bad. And so my wedding efficiency cost is $250. That's what I charge. Typically, if there's a long travel, there may be some additional expenses for travel, but most of the time I'm right around $250. But at the same time, there is some courses that I have written, and I know that they say that there are certain events in your life that are extremely stressful. One of them is getting married. Others are when kids come, or if you already have kids, you already know that, buying houses, switching jobs and careers. So I have a course that I've got over a little over 3,100 people worldwide that have enrolled in that course. It's a 4.5-hour course, and I would be happy to let you have access to that, especially if you're feeling a lot of anxiety in your life, especially around this time. It should be wonderful, it should be fun, it should be joy, and it's a process that I teach to a lot of individuals, and I would be happy to include that. Now, that being said, I also offer some additional services for a small fee that we can talk about, and that is about relationship coaching, and I call it couples winning. And quite frankly, it is a foundation of learning how to communicate with a new partner. And one of the things, if you've been married before, you know how important good communication skills are in communication with each other. And I believe that even if you aren't married, and if this is your first time, that there are certain things that you can establish as a couple. And as a psychologist, that is a very, very important study in my life. But at the same time, my expertise is also in health psychology. So if you've got some time and you're trying to lose some weight, and especially as you go through this process of stress and anxiety and getting prepared for all this, a lot of times our bodies don't actually respond well to losing weight when we're in a stress mode. So I have another option that I can talk to you about if you're interested, and that way we can make sure that when that event happens, it is a wonderful time for you, and it is stress-free, and it is as ideal of an image that you can imagine. Now, that being said, when we get into the type of ceremony, that is basically your decision, and we can talk about it. Like I said, I'm a non-denominational minister, so I'm very adaptable to any particular practices that you would like to achieve. But, at the same time, for the vast majority of individuals, let's face it, the wedding is not meant there to be anything but your day, your celebration. So typically, I like to keep the ceremonies short. There's a lot of people that you're probably inviting, and they came there to see the two of you celebrate this day, to celebrate vows, to celebrate your wedding. And so generally the ceremony typically, in my opinion, should last about 30 minutes or less, because you want, and that is the official ceremony. It's not the party, it's not the get-together, it's not the pre-dinner, or it's not the after or the reception. It is the actual ceremony there. Now, you can choose to write your own vows if you want, if you need help writing vows, or if you would like that. I do a lot of writing in my daily activity, and I have not only helped quite a few people write their own vows, I have helped them start from start to finish. Now, if you have your own vows, great. And if you don't want to do vows, that is also something of your choice. And so, let's see, what else can I tell you? Attire, as far as your theme goes, if there's something special that you would like me to wear, or if you would like me to, or if you really don't care, the important thing is that we just communicate up front and in the beginning, so that any stages of your wedding, at least you don't have to worry about who is going to show up and marry you, and we've got everything down to clockwork. Now, if you want to do a wedding ceremony or a pre-ceremony, just let me know about that, and we can make that arrangement. But typically, it is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you need help with, what steps do you need to actually get your marriage license before that big day, we can talk about that as well. There are a couple different features that you have to do depending on what county you want to get married in, and so you can just let me know that too. If you have any questions whatsoever, I can probably help you out pretty well. Even if you need a wedding photographer, I'm not a wedding photographer, but I know quite a few, so there's a lot of little nuances that maybe you just need some guidance. So you can get a hold of me by email at jamey@jameydragostea.com, and I'll put it right here in this video, or you can call me on my phone, or you can also get me on Messenger. Quite frankly, I do a lot of consulting work for relationship consulting and weight loss consulting and life coaching. I do it all online, so if I'm with somebody either doing a wedding or a ceremony or life coaching, and quite frankly, I will not respond to them, because I'm giving 100% of my time to that person. The same way that when I'm with you, I'm going to give you 100% of my attention. Now, if you have something immediately, the best thing that you could do is text me or give me a phone call, and I will return it as quickly as possible if I'm busy. But for the most part, I think I'm pretty responsible in returning that within the hour. I have constant reminders because I have a lot of different things going on, but at the same time, it is important that you feel like you're being taken care of, and I want to make sure that that happens with our relationship. All right, I think that is about it. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I so look forward to having the opportunity to work with you and being part of your wonderful special day. So again, congratulations are in order, and I hope to talk to you soon.